most towns don't necessarily have like a day like for themselves just because
Yeah.
every day is their day. But today it is 412, 412, the area code in Pittsburgh. And because I think that Pittsburgh is still one of the most unique cities in the world, today is like Pittsburgh Day. Like Shop 412, uh, Turner's, IC Light, Iron City, even like Yingling is technically not Pittsburgh, but still PA close enough. All the like, PNC, like all these companies that have at least giant branches or whatever that reside in Pittsburgh or their companies founded in Pittsburgh, like celebrate it as if it's our day as Yinzers. And Yinzers obviously
Yep.
do as well. And I also love that Turner's and IC Light decided to break out these bad boys
Ooh. Okay.
on 412 day. Okay, so I picked these up at the gift shop of Pittsburgh Brewing Company of the IC Light plant in Creighton the day before, and a lot of people were pissed that I didn't wait until 412, but I'm having one today on the show. So, and they're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Uh, and I think that it's just a great representation of Yinzers ourselves because we love beer, and goddamn it, we know that Turner's iced tea is the best iced tea to ever grace the earth. And also, they have great milk. Anybody who went to a Pittsburgh public school knows that.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, baby.
it
Yeah.
Turner's out of the orange crates is pumped into our bloodline is infant babies, is fetuses, is feti. We are fed this from birth on. And anybody who's been to Pittsburgh or around Pittsburgh or lives in Pittsburgh, knows how much pride that we take in living here, and or even if not, because you and I have both lived other places,
Hmm.
how much we bring that pride to other people.
Oh yeah.
Any other place that we live, people know we're from Pittsburgh because we
Hmm.
make it a point to,
Hmm.
because we're proud of it. Am I going to live here forever? Probably not, but wherever I go, I'm still going to be proud that this is where I'm from, and this is a great representation on it. And sure, this episode isn't releasing on 412 Pittsburgh Day, but you know what, Smalls? I'm going to cheers to you because we're recording on Pittsburgh Day. So, cheers.
Cheers, buddy. What is up, guys? It's your boy Smalls with my boy Benny Buckets back in the vault, the weekly show that takes a look back at some of the best and worst jerseys in sports. Benny, how's it going today, sir? Happy 412 day. I know we got to it in the banter before the show, but happy 412 today.
Happy 412 Day,
Thank
man.
you.
I'm happy to be here, and also couldn't ask for better weather on
No.
412 Day. It's like 78 degrees outside. The sun is shining. It's not overcast. These bad boys just released, as we went over in the intro. It's just a wonderful day to be alive, and it's a wonderful day to remember that you are from the Steel City and from one of the best sports cities in America and one of the best just cities in general because of the people, because of the food, because of the sights, because of the just blue collar personality of the city. If you are from Pittsburgh and you don't love it, we're looking forward till the day you move.
Yeah.
But everybody celebrates 412 Day as you should. It's not like Christmas or anything like that, but it's just a day to reflect and remember we live in a pretty kick-ass city.
No, we really do. I mean, so I put out a blog yesterday, which I hadn't done in probably 2 years.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
taken aback for sure.
And full disclosure, I had it written last year. I literally just tweaked a few things so I could put it out now. I just never hit the publish button. But having said that, in there I just talked about how I wanted to move back to Pittsburgh, and the new job kind of gave me that opportunity. And I feel like you and I are both in the same mindset where you don't really know how much you love Pittsburgh or anyone's hometown in general until you leave and see other places and come back. And that's exactly what it was for me. I've lived in New England, D.C., Atlanta. There's nothing quite like Pittsburgh, and I'm so happy to be back. And I'm just happy to be celebrating 412 Day. So
Yeah, dude, and that's it is something like that because people say that they like, oh, well, I've traveled other places. It doesn't count if you have lived somewhere else. That's what I feel like gives you the full circle appreciation of being from where you're from. And I'm not saying it just Pittsburgh, like you said, like anybody can leave wherever they're from and hopefully have a newfound appreciation for it after they leave. But, we're both people that left and didn't have to come back, but did.
yep.
And I feel like, again, and it's not to say that we stay in Pittsburgh forever, but what the message really should be is that it's good enough and it has what we wanted to come back to. Like, because there's some people that they leave places and they never go back because there was nothing there from the get-go. We have so much here in such just a fun and awesome place to be from that there's something always pulling us back. So I love that, and I love that we do have our own unique little day to celebrate it. And sure, it being based off of the area code is kind of trivial, but I love it anyway. And I love that people get so excited for today. And I have become one of those people because I love our city, man. So I'm happy we get to celebrate it a little bit today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Benny, we'll dive into the topic in a second. Speaking of our topic, NBA playoffs are now officially up and running. And I didn't want to bring it up, but
yes, the Heat lost a playing game last night. They still have one more chance on Friday to lock up the 8th seed. Now, our team last year was pretty damn good. And I know that we are not the same team this year as last year. And really, it doesn't matter whether we locked up the 7, the 8 seed, or miss it all. Whoever we got is either the 1 or the 2 seed in the East was probably going to blow us out anyway. And will, especially if we get this 8 seed spot that we'll play for on Friday. Yeah, I'm not too optimistic. I love my guys. We just did a great ceremony for Udonis Haslem for 20 years with the Heat. And at 42 years old and a guy who plays like 20 minutes a year in the last 3 years, he put up 24 points on like 8 rebounds or something in his last regular season home game. So that was really cool to see. But, I still got faith in Jimmy. I still got faith in Bam and Hero and the boys. But I'm just being a realist. And the most optimistic I can be about it is say, we'll see, because we're not in as good of a spot as somebody's all decked out in their Celtics gear today. Because the Celtics and the Bucks and maybe kind of the Sixers are obviously like the powerhouses of the East, but definitely you guys in Milwaukee for sure. Yeah. So things are looking, pretty decent for you guys. And you guys are always a late in the year team. Like, you're always good throughout the year, but you turn on the reserve power for playoffs. So I'm excited. And at least like you guys are a team that like when the Heat play them, I don't like you, but like I have nothing against the Celtics or Boston or anything. And I think that Tatum and Brown are dogs and Robert Williams and Grant Williams are chippy, bigger guys. And they're a fun team to watch. So I'm sure you're probably elated right now.
I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know. And again, last year was kind of like my first real ride in the NBA, right? And I'm not pretending that I have been a lifelong Celtic fan. Having said that, last year was a good year to live in Boston and pick up a team. So I'm glad that I'm a Celtics fan. I don't know if, probably just because I've gone through it for the first time already, I don't know if this year's going to live up to the ride that I had last year because it was the first time last year. Having said that,
and you went to the finals, which was an electric experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So I lucked out in the first year being a fan, but I did watch every single game. I'm planning on watching every single game. Tuned in when I could this year. Always kept track of the team and stuff. Just when they were playing on national TV, I at least tried to catch it a little bit. But living in Pittsburgh and not Boston makes it a little harder. But I'm feeling good. JB, as long as he's healthy, he had some freak injury that happened. I think he like sliced his hand open or something, dropping a vase in his apartment or
Right. What
something
did you
weird.
ever get more like clarification on that or what that was?
He was watering his plants and he dropped the vase and he cut his hand, so he was out for a few games because of that. And they interviewed
That's
him. They interviewed him.
odd.
He's like, I think his quote was literally, "I'm pissed about it." Like of all things to
Yeah.
happen, you know?
That just
Yeah.
it's that like anything can happen
Mhm.
happens, you know.
Mhm. But yeah, between him and Tatum, dude. I mean, they had a, I don't want to say a historic year, but as far as like duos go, they were the best duo in the NBA. I don't really think it was that close. Best 1-2 punch in the NBA, and I mean Jaylen Brown is my guy. Like he's the guy that if Tatum's off, Brown always steps up. So I'm feeling good. We'll
And
see,
also a guy that you guys were talking about potentially shipping out of town.
which is
So
crazy, dude. It's crazy
yeah,
that they
to
were
me,
talking
you
about blowing
have
it
to
up.
keep them. You have to keep them together, right? I
Hmm.
mean, I feel like you said, they are without a doubt the best 1-2 in the league this year. I mean, they've proven that. And like there's a couple guys like when Chris Middleton's on, him and Giannis are
Hmm.
up there. LeBron and AD when they're really turning it on. I'll just throw Jimmy and Bam in there out of courtesy, but like I feel like you can't remove one from the other. Like they're going to be most efficient together. So, and even you got guys like Marcus Smart, and they're
Hmm.
not actually brothers, but who I'll just refer to as the Williams brothers. And
Yeah.
like you have a pretty good team
Hmm.
built over there. Like if you can afford to keep them
Hmm.
together, like why blow them up? And dude, in any sport, this personally about me, but for those
Hmm.
who don't know, I hate people who exhaust themselves talking about draft capital. When you have a proven product, why would you give up what has proved to work in a professional sports setting for something that could be the next Jamarcus Russell or the next
Yep.
Kwame Brown? Why would you risk it all for that? Who gives a shit what draft pick you have? What do you have that has clearly worked against the best of the best already?
Hmm.
Not what could. Because honestly, tell me what the kid in Houston, who obviously isn't that good because I can't even remember his name, and Cade Cunningham, what they've done, and even Paulo Banchero, he scored a 40-20 point game. He's also playing in Orlando,
Yeah.
and they were in a yard's length of sniffing the playoffs this year. So it's like, to me, like, it doesn't really matter what draft pick you have. You figure even Adam Morrison, the Gonzaga Crier guy,
Yep.
was picked by the Lakers however long ago, or by the Bobcats maybe, and then went to the Lakers, something like that. Terrible pro. Like you can't just risk it all for the draft if you can afford it. Now I know that some of these guys are asking for big contracts, but to me, I'm not going to risk taking a shooting guard from the draft over being able to keep Jaylen Brown, who's one of the most efficient
Yep.
players in basketball.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully you guys stick together, and I hope, honestly, as long as it doesn't run into us, I hope you guys have a pretty good run this year.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good against the Hawks. I think it'll be that second round matchup against, and I don't want to jinx the first round, but I mean the East outside. Yeah, I mean really it's just Boston, Philly, and Milwaukee kind of running the ship a little bit. Like I know Cleveland's pretty solid this year. The Knicks are back in it again, but I feel like it's going to come down to one of those three teams, I would imagine. And I don't want to talk too much shit on Philly because I have a lot of Sixers fans that are friends of mine, but I just don't see the Sixers are just stuck, dude. I don't care if they have Embiid, they're just stuck and they will forever be stuck. That's just what my gut is telling me.
To me, aside from, I guess, football in recent years, but Philly's going to Philly. And I feel like especially the Sixers and the Flyers, even if they go undefeated in the season, they always figure out a way to blow it in the playoffs. So, we'll see what happens. I think Embiid's obviously a hell of a player, and to me is probably the MVP this year. And then Harden, obviously, if he's on, he's on.
Hmm.
And we'll see what happens with them. But I think honestly, in my humble opinion, it's between Boston and Milwaukee for who's coming out of the East this year. So.
Yeah. Yeah, who do you have coming out of the West? Because so I haven't watched a lot of Kings basketball this year, but it's kind of cool seeing the Kings get
I
back
love that
into
they're
it.
relevant,
Yeah.
dude. Dude, that makes me so happy because we grew up with the Jason Williams,
Yep.
Mike Bibby, Chris Webber,
Mm-hmm.
Peja Stojakovic, like those guys running it over in the early 2000s. And it's just cool kind of seeing them get back to that. So I hope they're good. I don't know how legit they are, I'll be honest, like in terms of a 7-game series against another legit team. It's tough because I think that Denver will always suck in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're fake tough. I will never take them seriously. I think that Jokic is obviously very good for as big as he is, but I also think he's very overrated and he's not a clutch player because they don't fucking win in the playoffs. The Lakers are a dark horse from what everybody's saying, but I feel like everybody just wants to give LeBron a chance.
Yep.
Phoenix, if every player is healthy and clicking and they turn it on, it's such a toss up over in the West right now. And like,
do you think Memphis can put it together?
If Jaw stops flashing a gun around and Dylan Brooks can like not get suspended, they're pretty good, but they're another team who I could see forever being like another Denver. Like they're always in the conversation, but they're never legit. I don't see, because even Jaw I think is very good. He's an all-star player, but the Two Beers Deep guys discussed this like a month or two ago. I think Jaw is an all-star. I don't think he's a superstar because he doesn't take over against these better teams when they need him to. He's had a couple good games like that in the regular season, but when they're having a dominant performance, it's against like the Pelicans or somebody or whatever. Like I want to see them dog the Warriors. I want to see and they have whenever they weren't fully healthy. Like there's always somebody missing. I want to see them dog like a really good team. And to me, even if they do it in the regular season, I need to see it in the playoffs. Yeah. And I know that that's very like, what have you done for me lately sounding, but for real, because you can go 82-0. Nobody gives a shit if you lose in the first round. Like you have to put up in the playoffs. So I don't know, dude. I think the West is such a toss-up. Are you feeling one way about a team in the West? Or?
Not really, because, I mean, you already kind of touched on it. Denver just hasn't done anything quite yet. Yeah, they're the number one seed, but that doesn't always mean anything, you know?
Right.
And, I mean, Phoenix, I could see maybe being dangerous. Sacramento, just because it's their first run, I don't think that they got the legs for it because it's kind of their first time back in the dance. I don't know, dude. I mean, shit, for all we know, Golden State could come out of the West again. You know what I mean? Like it,
and they've got the talent to do it too.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, dude. It'll be pretty interesting, I think. But yeah, I don't know. Having the Knicks and the Kings back in the playoffs is kind of cool to see. And again, I'm not a Knicks fan by any stretch, but
no,
it's
but you know
cool.
what? I'm happy for Jalen Brunson because even I'll admit that I was one of those people who was a little skeptical about him getting that bag in New York, trusting him to be the guy. But he's done very well there. I like Julius Randle, and I think it's good for sports for the Knicks to be good.
Yeah.
I just think, it draws more attention. It gets more people involved. And them just realistically being like one of the largest cities, it just makes sense for them to be good. So now I don't want them to go win the title, but I like that they're at least in the conversation again because I would much rather Knicks fans brag about them being in the playoffs than all the complaining I've heard about how they're the team of the generation, but they just can't crack the playoffs. Like, for Christ's sake, I'm happy that they're in it, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, Benny. Let's go ahead and jump into it before we get started. I got the ad read this week. So this week's topic, as always, is brought to you by Marshall Fitness. Marshall Fitness is an online training resource that is run by our friend of the show, Will Marshall. I've known him for years. He knows exactly what he's doing. The boy is over in Portugal right now, kind of living it up, which is good to see. But even from over there, he's able to check in with all his clients. because it's all online, all virtual, and he can do exactly what you need him to. He can, like I've said before, he can kind of hold your hand through the process if you're kind of getting back into it for the first time in a long time, or he can really just give you kind of the outline and let you go, do your thing. But he gives you everything from personalized workouts to personalized nutrition. At one point he was using the MyFitnessPal app. I think he's on to something new, but he goes top to bottom with personal fitness and just overall lifestyle. Your boy is actually probably going to reach out to him after this show because I'm trying to get in honeymoon shape, and Will is the only person that I trust to do that. So go check out Marshall Fitness on Facebook and his Instagram handle here. The best time to start is now. Benny, this week we are doing NBA mascots in honor of the playoffs starting up. We've done mascots before, not NBA specific, but I think this is going to be a good one because there's a lot to unpack here, and there's going to be a lot that we don't touch on, but there are some funny-ass mascots in the NBA and some elite ones. So
because we've done mascots, but we've never done like the NBA specifically, and I like the idea of it because I'm not talking smack on any other sports mascots, but I feel like there are more individualized personalities in terms of pro sports in NBA mascots than there are anywhere else. College, obviously, you're getting into a different realm, but in terms of pro sports, I don't think that there's more like solo recognizable mascots than what the NBA has, and because they're the most like fan interactive, I feel like they're just they encapsulate the personality of the fans of the team, and I'm very excited to get into some of these today.
Yeah, and there's like I said, there are going to be a lot that we don't touch, just because we got to stick to the format here. But this is another one where I would go ahead and do this again. Because it's just there are so many to pick from, and 6 really isn't going to do it justice. There were a few that I had to leave out for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, to me, and I know this is saying a lot because there's only like 30 teams in the NBA or whatever, but like there's probably like 20 really good mascots.
Oh, yeah.
So for us to boil it down to 6 was tough for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But without further ado, what do you got for pick number 1?
So first one, this is obviously one of the younger mascots in the NBA, but Rumble of the OKC Thunder, I think is just awesome. First of all, he's a bison, which is awesome. And because, it's not like they tried to make it some lightning bolt or a cloud. Like, they at least went with something that kind of makes sense, and they're based in Oklahoma, so you figured some sort of animal was probably going to be involved. Plus, I also have a bison tattooed on me. Ooh. So big bison guy, or buffalo guy, whatever you want to call it, but they officially list Rumble as a bison. But he's just one of those guys who's very into the crowd. And super interactive. This, to me, is perfect. Him just beating a bass drum to get everybody excited and, amp up the crowd. And he also will go into the crowd. He does the dunks in between games. He's a guy who's interacting with fans on the Jumbotron for the Kiss Cam and stuff like that. And especially because Oklahoma is relying on that being their only pro sport. They have college sports, but they don't have another professional sports team. The fact that they have the Thunder, I think, is awesome. And the fact that they're able to have someone kind of be is animated and is recognized as Rumble and to kind of represent what they're about. And especially back when like KD and Harden and Westbrook were there, they were an even more fun to watch team. And even still, I think that they've got some young guys that are going to be promising for the future, but they got a cool logo. They got cool colors. They're in a cool location because nobody really ever thinks about Oklahoma, but I feel like he adds to the allure around Oklahoma City basketball. And I just think he's a dope dude.
Yeah. No, they kind of I don't know what do you think of his actual look? I'm not talking about the jersey or anything. I'm talking about just like the headgear, because I think they kind of pulled it off pretty well. They didn't make it too like scary, but it also looks just ridiculous enough to be like an electric mascot. You know what I mean?
Dude, he looks like. Did you ever see the live action adaptation of Where the Wild Things Are? Did you see the
No,
movie?
no, I didn't, but I
Okay,
know the
but
book.
if
I
you
know the
look up
book.
some of like the imagery from that, he
Yeah,
looks like what one of the characters was like in
yeah,
that movie. And like you said, I think toes the line of where like they didn't make it scary, but they didn't make it so outrageous. Like it's like just that tough enough
yeah,
look for a mascot. And I think they did an overall good job.
yeah. Rumble is an all-time name too. They
That's a
nailed the
great name.
name, dude.
Yes.
They nailed the name. Rumble is that's a mascot name, dude. That's 100% a mascot name.
Oh, and especially since everybody in the NBA just wants to punch the shit out of each other
Yeah.
anymore, it makes perfect sense. Real quick tidbit: did you see on NBA Tonight on TNT that Charles Barkley like hit Kenny Smith and then started like moving back, and he was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Look, I'm
yeah.
Rudy Gobert,"
Yes.
because Rudy Gobert hit Kyle Anderson and
Yeah.
then ran backwards.
Yeah.
Oh man,
The
dude!
best show on TV,
So
dude.
by far, in my opinion, the best sports coverage show like of just a panel. And they've consistently been that entertaining for a long time. But to bring this full circle, what they don't talk about enough is Rumble being an electric mascot. Great name, great look, great city, great team. Not necessarily record wise, but just the feel around
Hmm.
the team as a whole. So I had to put him on there, and especially repping for the young guys because he's only been around 12 years or so or
Yeah.
whatever, however long that well, I guess more than that. But whenever the Thunder became a team, what was that, like '09 or something
Something
like
like
that?
that. Yeah.
But regardless, I'm happy that something in someone so new is able to be that welcomed and beloved in the NBA community.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. My
Give me
first pick.
yours.
My first pick had to be.
Easy, no brainer,
Had to be.
no brainer.
Yeah. So, Benny the Bull of the Chicago Bulls is he is the guy when you bring up NBA mascots or even just mascots in professional sports in general. He's the guy that a lot of people point to because he is one of the most interactive with the fans, one of the most acrobatic mascots out there. Period. The look here is just fuego, and the hair is just a nice little subtle touch because I mean it's wild that they put this on a bull, this like pink and orange looking wig, hilarious. But he's just kind of a savage overall. Benny the Bull is just a savage. Back when Alex Caruso got traded from the Lakers to the Bulls, Benny the Bull literally was at the game with like a cardboard cutout of the Wolverine meme with just the Lakers looking at a picture of Alex Caruso like crying himself to sleep. And he is just the OG of NBA mascots, dude. And he's the one that sets the bar. Like he is the bar, I think.
Yes, I like. You can't think about mascots without thinking about Benny the Bull because you've all seen the viral clips of like him stealing the girl away on the kiss cam or
Yep.
dumping popcorn on people or honestly getting into it with players. Like I mean, he's an instigator, but he's everything you want. He's edgy, he's entertaining, but he's also playful and he looks cool. He's wearing J's for God's sake. Or well, they're knockoff Jays, but you know what I mean. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's a cool looking mascot.
Yeah.
But for decades, he like even back in the '90s when mascots weren't as big of a deal, Benny the Bull was still that dude. Like he's been timeless. He has just performed well. Like whoever they've gotten to be him over and over again has been just absolutely electric. Like I feel like they got to get people with a personality to be Benny the Bull, not just somebody to get out there and hype up the crowd. Like you have to embody what that suit means. And I feel like the city of Chicago, treats him like they do one of the players. And
Oh yeah.
I just think that like he just what you are looking for in a mascot is everything that Benny the Bull has. So I'm so happy you put this on there because it was like if neither of us put him on the list, we weren't doing our job.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you, I think Benny the Bull is the one mascot that could hold out for a bigger contract and actually get it.
Dude, he could. He's gonna get that Deshaun Watson bag minus the allegations. He
Yeah.
needs guaranteed money. Benny
Yeah.
the Bull, pay that man.
Pay that man. Absolutely. Like I said, I don't think many other mascots could pull that off, but the guy under the mask, he could get it. I guarantee it.
Agreed.
Guarantee it. All right, Benny, what do you got for number 2?
Number 2, this one is potentially my personal favorite. The gorilla of the Phoenix Suns. He does not have a name. He is just the gorilla, which is hilarious and electric. He doesn't have a number on his jersey, but he's always wearing either a jersey or I love even the ones where he's wearing like the full team warm up. Is hysterical to me. When a lot of these mascots of who we're talking about, and not even just in the NBA, but in any sport, what we love about them is the personality that they have and what they bring. The gorilla is in there like ads on TV. He's interacting with celebrities that show up to games. He's hyping up the crowd before playoff games. He's there with their starting lineup, like dapping up players and stuff. And he is one of the most acrobatic in the league. He is actually the mascot who started the other mascots. Usually they had teams that came out, they were like acrobat teams and did dunking and stuff. He was the patriarch of mascots dunking in between quarters and at halftime and stuff. So to me, that legacy alone of setting the tone for mascots being stuntmen belongs to the gorilla, and I think that makes him even cooler. And the fact that, like, no correlation between
Zero.
the gorilla in Suns or a gorilla in Phoenix, but the randomness makes it even better for me.
Yeah.
And I love this guy. I want to go have a beer with the gorilla from the Suns and then have him do some crazy backflip dunk over me. He's just a dude. Like, this guy is cool as shit.
Yeah. I love that they didn't go even too hard with like the headgear or costume or anything. It looks like something you could get at
buy
Party
this.
City, dude.
I was just gonna say, dude, you could get this at Party City and like or the Spirit Halloween store.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, but this guy not only is just a guy who bought a gorilla suit, he to me is probably the physical expression of the spirit of Harambe, R.I.P. Everybody obviously knows the Cincinnati Zoo legend. Everybody knows that that's like the most electric, like probably animal-related story in the last 10 years. And to me, he lives on through the gorilla of the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah. So I got 2 things here. So, do you think it'd be more knowing the gorilla's pedigree, right? Do you think it's more of an honor to be on the Globetrotters or be the gorilla for the Suns? And it might be a landslide for the Globetrotters, but I think there's something to be said a bit about the athletic ability of the gorilla.
And that's what I mean is the Globetrotters have obviously a lot of unreal skill, but a lot of it does not apply to actual basketball if we're being like in terms of like in-game play. But I guess neither does jumping off a trampoline unless it's slam ball. But, oh my God, we should bring back slam ball and have mascots compete.
How has that not been done yet, dude?
Why has that not been a thing? If we're thinking of this for the first time, holy shit, bring me my money.
Hold on. Galaxy Brain here. Galaxy Brain. Have you ever seen the clips of the NFL mascots playing against kids?
Yes.
Slam ball, NBA mascots versus 10-year-olds.
We'll go to jail probably for putting that on, but I'm for it, especially if the kids are jerks. Yeah, dude, slam ball for NBA mascots needs to be a thing. Why has that never been done before?
I don't know.
Anyway, I give a little more credit to the gorilla because you're in a gorilla suit.
Yeah.
The other guys are doing stuff on the court. He's jumping and flying and doing all this acrobatic stuff while in a gorilla suit that has to make it unbearably hot in there. So I might tip my cap to the gorilla over the Globetrotters, and I'll probably catch a lot of heat for that. But Because obviously the Globetrotters are watching this episode, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but I gotta tip my cap to the gorilla.
Yeah. Second question, the age-old question. Speaking of gorillas, who wins in a fight, grizzly bear or gorilla? The
I don't
age-old
know if I
question.
can answer. I don't know if I can answer because I've gotten bullied for my stance
What's your stance?
over quite a bit of time. I'm a gorilla guy. I am. I think obviously a grizzly is just absolutely a force to be reckoned with. It's not that I don't have belief in the grizzly. It's that I have so much belief in the athletic ability of the gorilla. I think it would wear the grizzly out. And I think that now it's got to be a smart gorilla. This gorilla can't just stand there and throw hands. He's got to be bouncing around and moving and using the agility of the gorilla and the power to be able to move around the bear who might not. They're not going to have as much lateral quickness. Bears are fast as shit if they're running on a straightaway, but they can't move laterally like a gorilla can. So I think that potentially gives them the edge, and the gorilla would have to play the long game, being powerful but being quick and making the fight longer. Whereas if it's just a full-out maul, like brawl on brawl, and it's just they go at it immediately without being separated at all, there's no room to work with, I'm giving it to the grizzly bear. But I think if it's like in nature, I think the gorilla might have its way.
I don't know the right answer to this because, dude, so a gorilla, there's something like, obviously animalistic might not be the right word, but like they get that crazy look in their eye, dude. You know what I mean? If they're gonna try to rip something apart, they can do it. Like they have that brute strength, right? And like there are a lot of gorillas.
Anger switch.
Yeah, they're
like the Hulk flip.
They got nothing to lose sometimes, you know. At the same time, though.
What do any wild animals have to lose?
No, I get it. I'm just
Oh, this guy's mortgage. Oh no.
willing to risk it all, dude. Anyways,
no, I understand. I get
Yeah.
your point. I'm sorry.
No,
I
you're good.
had to.
No, you're good. At the same time, though, dude, a grizzly bear has to be one of the most durable animals ever. Like those,
True.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
and they're to me, aside from whatever's in the ocean, the closest thing to monsters that we have.
oh
grizzly
yeah,
bears.
dude, bears without fur, dude, aliens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do this a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little inside baseball for me and Smalls, but
Dude.
anyway.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know the right answer. I think I would lean grizzly bear, just because
And that's fair. It's like,
Yeah.
but I have people that are literally like, you should be assassinated
Yeah.
because I say gorilla, and I'm like, relax.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've gone back and forth. So like I've been on record saying both because I don't think I can make up my mind. You know what I mean?
Because it really could go either way, and it's just a shame because, like, for humane reasons,
Yeah,
like,
we can't do it. We can't
this is
find out.
something that we're never gonna get to know, and there is no ecosystem where those two would meet.
No.
But it is a shame just for our sick curiosity that's never gonna be found out.
Yeah. All right. The Gorilla Phoenix Suns versus whatever the Memphis Grizzlies mascot is. I forget his name.
That gorilla for sure.
Without
I
a
think.
doubt, dude. Without a doubt.
Yeah. Unless John Morant shows up and he pulls a gat on him. But, we'll see. Anyway, Smalls, what do you have?
That went off the rails, dude. All right, I love it. Speaking of off the rails, I got Stuff the Magic Dragon here for my second pick.
I'm so happy.
All right, so this is one that I stumbled upon. I didn't really know that this was the Magic mascot until probably a few years ago. And there's something so hilarious about a mascot being named Stuff the Magic Dragon, as in stuff, block, basketball, you get it. This guy is out of... I don't know if this is Mr. McGiblets from the league. I don't know if it's a twist on that or if it's something out of a Nightmarish Magic School Bus episode. I don't know. Or just like a pinker version of that thing from the Neverending Story movie. I don't know, because this is all over the board here. I love the fact that they leaned into this being so ridiculous. Yeah, they're the magic. Dragons are magic, I guess. That's about as hard as you really have to think about this, because they just went full out wizard on this guy. They did not give two shits putting this guy together for the first time, and I love everything about this. This has Stanford Tree vibes, because they just threw everything at the wall and tried to see what stuck.
Well, and with a name so ridiculous as the Magic, like just the Magic, that they went with, you had to have something equally ridiculous. And it looks like a weird stuffed animal that you get out of a claw machine, which, weird story, when we were in high school, we played soccer with a guy named Tyler Nelson. And he was dating this girl who is now his wife. And I remember one of the days he brought on his antenna this stuffed animal that she got from him from a King's restaurant, which RIP, that King's was just shut down a few months ago. But from a King's restaurant, it was like a bear with like stars on it or whatever. And he had it like strapped to his antenna of his truck. And he showed up to practice. And I remember Sean asking him, what the hell is that? And he said, oh, that's Sugarloaf. Because that's what the name of like the claw machine was they were Sugarloaf toys, and he named it Sugarloaf. And I feel like naming this thing Stuff, I get like the basketball pun, but it is hilarious to just think of the word that is one of the most generalizing words in the English language is stuff. And to me, I'm not thinking of it as basketball stuff block. I'm thinking of this is just a compilation of stuff thrown into a human being or a mythical being of the magic that is before us. But I love it. I love the ridiculousness of it, not shouting out Rob Deerday. I just love how crazy this is. It's preposterous, and it, if anything, adds to the fact that Orlando has always been pretty bad. Like, okay, when they had Shaq and Penny, they were good. They had that one good year with Dwight Howard where they went to the finals and they got shit on by Kobe. But other than that, they've kind of been a laughingstock. And it's kind of stuff like this. Why? Yeah. But at least this is, like, to me, it's entertaining and hilarious. Like, I love this guy or girl or whatever, or they, them, whatever it is. I love this dragon. I don't want to, whatever. But this is awesome.
Yeah, we don't want to get into any hot water here. But,
right.
So part of me, because they are in Orlando, part of me makes me think, like, oh, Disney World, like, they got a lot of kids going to games and stuff. They tried to make something, like, for the kids. I don't know if this is, like, this would give kids nightmares, I feel like. Like, this is like the Easter Bunny times 10. If there was a line of kids waiting to get their picture taken with Stuffed Magic Dragon, there would be more kids crying in that line than the Easter Bunny line.
Yeah. No question. Yes, 100%.
No question. But yeah, it just, like you use the best word, preposterous. This guy is everything from the name to the look, and especially his little antenna things with the stars, like the Cookie Crisp wizard. Like,
yeah. Oh wow, that's a deep one. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. No, this guy knows. The Magic knew what they were doing, or they didn't, or they just rolled it out without thinking.
Or not.
And if so, I props to them for just going with it. Either way, I'm like a little impressed by the absurdity of Stuffed Magic Dragon. So.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
Yeah. All right, Benny, wrap us up here. What do you got?
To me, this is the pick I'm the proudest of. And the pick that I feel nobody was expecting but we all needed is Squatch, which is unfortunately extinct, mascot of the Seattle Supersonics. The Seattle Supersonics are the team that was decommissioned and then ended up, essentially being taken over by the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, as an ode to Rumble, this is essentially your father, Squatch. Squatch, so no paternity test needed, Maury. We know that Squatch is Rumble's dad. Put that shit on TV. Anyway, Squatch, I love, is just a footprint is the number on the Sonics jersey. I also love everything about these Seattle Supersonics.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who watches the show knows that Smalls and I are suckers for teams that don't exist anymore. I love the nostalgia of it, and I love that, like, there's no real need for a Sasquatch to be the mascot of the Seattle Supersonics, and it's not like Sasquatch is like known to live in Seattle or anything like that. It's just random, and I love it. And who knows? Maybe people think they saw Bigfoot over there, whatever. But the fact that this is just so random is kind of similar to why I like the gorilla for Phoenix so much, is because it doesn't make any sense, but it's so hilariously different that I love it. And he was also one. I actually have a Funko Pop of this mascot. I'm obsessed with him, and I love just the idea that he's in full uniform, like ready to play, kind of like Michael J. Fox, Teen Wolf style looking dude. Love that this is what they went with. It. They could have went with anything, but Seattle chose a Sasquatch for the Supersonics. None of this is related, but it ended up being this crazy, off-the-wall, lovable mascot that I think everybody was on board with while he was here, and one that everybody else is sad that he's not.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if the Supersonics never got a cease and desist from Star Wars, because this is just Chewbacca, dude. This is straight up Chewbacca.
To what point?
Well, no, this is Chewbacca. No, like they didn't. I mean, this. If you've seen depictions of Sasquatch, this is it. But at the same time, it's also just Chewbacca, which is fine. I'm not
what
saying
if Chewbacca's real, and that's the real Sasquatch? Because they always say, from a galaxy far, far away a long time ago, or I mixed the two, but you get what I'm saying. So technically, that's supposed to be a thing that we think is futuristic, but it's from a long time ago. Yeah. What if Wookiees are real, and that's just roaming the woods, and that's what people saw?
I mean, dude, people are talking. I don't know.
We're really cracking something right now.
Yeah.
Like, I think we should write a book, because I know people who would buy it. Dude, like 2 of them, but still, people would buy it.
Dude, I think if we were to write a book about the connection between Squatch, like this Squatch, and Chewbacca,
and Wookiees,
and find the lineage, dude. Dude, bestseller.
We gotta give a shout out to the Loch Ness Monster somewhere in there. Like, we've got to accommodate everybody. But
and there's also a difference.
I'm with you, though.
There's also a difference between, we got to distinguish in the book, difference between a Yeti and a Sasquatch. 2 very different things, I guess.
Bingo.
I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research on it yet.
I guess. That was a very aggressive I guess. Like, oh, they want to be separate. Like that was...
Listen, that's what they would have you believe.
Yetis and Sasquatches just want equal rights. That's all they're looking for, man. Maybe they'll vote soon. I'm all for Squatch suffrage.
Oh my god! All right. So back to Squatch here. I think the only connection was that if you talk like Sasquatch like sightings, they're always coming up from the Pacific Northwest, and that is as much as they thought about it. They didn't think any deeper into it. It's just Pacific Northwest. Benny, I have a question. Have you seen the show Sasquatch on Hulu?
No.
All right. So I watched it. It came out, I don't know, about a year or 2 ago. It's a documentary series, okay? It starts off by this guy going to this town in California, right? Where there were just like rumblings of Sasquatch sightings like for years and years and years. And what he ends up finding out, he digs deeper and deeper and deeper. All these Sasquatch like disappearances, like all these people are disappearing. It's just because of like the drug cartel, and he gets like deeper and deeper and deeper because he went there looking for Sasquatch stories, and he ended up like uncovering like this thing about the cartel. And anyone that's
crazy,
dude, it was a wild watch. Let me just put it that way.
Well, you want to know something also to watch on Hulu that's way less elaborate that also involves a Sasquatch?
Yeah.
There's a movie made in like 2013 or something called The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot.
Yeah, so I have not seen. I've heard of it, though.
Famous actor Sam Elliott is in it. the last 7 minutes of the movie, that's all you need to see.
All right.
Fast forward until the last 7 minutes of the movie. This is a public health announcement. Everybody needs to watch this shit because I promise you, you will never see a more unintentionally hilarious scene with a distinguished actor than this in your lifetime. Just watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta tune into that now. Anyway, good pick. That was a good way to wrap up your picks. I appreciate that.
Well, now you wrap up yours, man. What do you got for me?
All right, I got Bango the Buck from the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, so Bango the Buck, he's been around for years, right? Over the years, though, he's gotten considerably more yoked as time has gone on. This is one yoked deer. This ain't Bambi. This is the deer that picks on Bambi on the school playground, dude. He steals Bambi's lunch money because this is a mean buck, dude. Bango might bango your girlfriend. You better watch out when Bango's in the room, dude. Bango is just an elite mascot. There's something about him that just looks mean. The Milwaukee Bucks on social media had a video out that was like a day in the life of Bango, and it's literally just him in the gym just getting yoked. And like his arms they put like the arms on him, like costume arms that just made him look fucking yoked. So yoked that he was playing at halftime. I think it was Maryland versus Wisconsin. I forget what year it was, but he was playing in like a halftime game during the Wisconsin Badgers basketball season, right? And he's so yoked that he literally broke the rim and delayed the start of the second half. That is how mean this buck is, dude. And Bango is an elite name. Bango is, I don't know where it came from, but it is just it's such a fitting name for this dude. And even this picture, dude, he is mean mugging. This is a guy that you would want on your squad, guaranteed.
Yeah. Dude, he's intimidating. Definitely never played any reindeer games with Rudolph. That's for sure. He said, "Hey, you little red-nosed freak, get the fuck out of here." And then he went and just bench pressed 300 pounds. In a big advantage for him, no hoofs, has hands. Okay, because that would make him much less effective at being an NBA basketball mascot if he didn't have opposable thumbs. So hands over hooves should be hashtag hands over hooves for Bango, just to, if anything, even more so mushroom stamp other deer and be like, hey, I'm the superior deer. I'm superior to you. And he's just an absolute monster. If you do take away the antlers, I feel like you could say that it's a monkey mascot, but the antlers maybe need a bit beefed up. I think he hasn't, scratched him on any tree bark recently.
He's skipping antler day, dude. He
did. He skipped antler day, but I feel like that's okay because he is a monster everywhere else.
Yeah.
And I understand, like, for the significance of the team, why he's 68, but he's one digit away from being an even bigger savage. Mm-hmm. But definitely, dude, Bango's one that I feel like gets overlooked for mascots, but he is still extremely captivating and an absolute dog, despite him being an actual deer. So definitely happy that Bango made the list.
Yeah, Bango is the only mascot out there that I feel like there might be some steroid allegations against the guys playing Bango, dude. I don't know. I feel like they might be doping up a little bit.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to test positive for deer antler spray or whatever the hell that shit is. If people are getting, it's like deer antler something. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know. Like the pheromones. Yeah.
Somebody got busted for that, like NFL, like a year or two ago. I can't remember, but regardless, that was like a big deal. And their supplier, their plug. Probably
Bango, dude. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I heard about that. NFL player testing positive for deer.
It was like somebody like big, and it's killing me that I can't remember.
Dude, Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis? I thought it was somebody other than that, but still, that's like the biggest dude of big dudes.
Dude, yeah. So apparently he used deer antler spray to help heal his torn tricep. Oh shit! Dude, it has growth hormone in it.
And he killed somebody. So it maybe those correlate. Also, full circle show, maybe Bango the Buck was the one actually leading the cartel of all the people who got abducted looking for Sasquatch because he was just trying to make sure that everybody kept his deer antler spray operation under wraps.
Damn, dude. Damn, that is full circle. Dude, what if there is just like a network of
Drug
NBA
dealing
mascots?
mascots?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, it's Stuff the Magic Dragon. He's like the hallucinogenic guy, and then we got Bango
Yeah.
dealing
Oh,
with the roids, dude.
This is making too much sense. This all is we're clicking on things way too much, and Squatch is taking care of making people disappear. It's dude, I'm telling you, man, we're piecing together a potential crime mob in the NBA mascot
Yeah,
community. We actually better chill out because we might be next.
yeah. Well, dude, you got to think about it too. Benny the Bull might be the Gus Fring of the whole thing. He might just be running the whole thing. Yeah, he's the face of the Bulls, but like, I don't know, dude. He might be the guy running it all. He has all his guys doing his bidding for
Set
him.
in place, doing their jobs.
Yeah, dude.
That's wild.
Yeah, and dude, they have a full nation network, dude. Just because of where all the teams are located, dude. They're nationwide. We're
We're in
talking
trouble.
syndicates, dude.
We're in trouble.
Yikes, dude.
Oh man,
Yikes. All right, Benny, that was a good one, dude. That was a good one.
had fun, man.
Yeah, that was. I came in. I was a little tired from work. As soon as we started going, though, I got that little spark, dude.
You get the juices flowing, and then bada bing, bada boom, bango.
Bango.
Give me the mango. Here we are. Good show today, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did the topic. I'm excited for what sports has to offer. And, we are just wishing all of our Pittsburgh viewers a wonderful 412 day. And everybody else, whether you're from Pittsburgh or not, continue to please be a friend, tell a friend, share, like, subscribe. We appreciate all the support. Big things coming for the Vault here soon. And you'll just have to tune in and see.
Yeah. I'm not gonna let you get away with it. We haven't brought it up in a long time, probably since season 1. Benny owes me. Well, what did we decide on? Was it just one shot or multiple shots of Burnett's?
I think it was that I had to drink some just throughout an episode.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I had to just continuously have some throughout the episode.
Yeah. So we'll have to. For context, Benny, season 1, we were trying to just have a beer for most of the shows that we did. Benny left me out to dry. There was a streak of it was a month.
Literally and figuratively, yeah, there was a long time.
Yeah, and that was the compromise that we came up with was finding some of the most vile stuff on earth, Burnett's, and you're
plastic
drink that.
Bottle Burnett's vodka. Yeah.
Yeah, but
it will happen at some point in this season. It will happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah. All right, Benny. We'll figure it out. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Be your friend, tell a friend, all that stuff. This has been The Vault, the weekly show. Takes a look back at some of the best and worst jerseys in sports. We'll be back next week. Peace.